Jan,
Hey there.
hey, are you I just got a new laptop, so I'm zooming on my new laptop.
Dang, aren't you fancy?
Well, I don't know if I know what I'm doing. That's we'll find out.
Well, the voice sounds good.
Okay, good. Microphone's good.
Yeah. I'm getting over a cold, so I sound a little crusty.
Mm, yeah. Are you better?
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Good. Good.
Getting there.
Good.
Yep. We leave for Tampa to see Gloria's sister on Wednesday.
Oh, I'm going down there the first weekend in April
Oh, you
to
are?
to go see my boy and his new little one. And his
Oh, how fun will you have?
yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Hi, Jillian.
Hey Jillian,
Hey Jan, hey Danu.
how's it going, Jillian?
Going well, just getting set up here.
Yep. I was just telling Jan that I just got a new laptop, so I'm just trying out my Zoom on it. And uh so far I can hear everybody. That's good.
What kind of laptop did you get?
It's just a Dell.
Oh, nice. That's what I use.
Oh, okay, great. So if I get stuck, I can come to you to help, huh?
I'll do my best.
I had a Dell and I upgraded, so to speak, to a Lenovo just because it was cheaper and I needed a new one.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I've had a Lenovo before.
Yeah, they're good.
I think my
Yeah,
old one's a Lenovo.
I use my iPad most of the time.
okay. Danu, does Manny have the link for tonight?
I Yeah, I send it both to Manny and to Steve.
Okay,
I I
perfect.
did I didn't send it to Natalie though, but she also
Natalie should have it.
yeah, I mean she manages to find us.
Yeah, I think she's included on the PARAB emails since she's the council liaison.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jillian, kudos to park staff. They're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you. I'll let them know. We're bracing for the high winds that are supposed to start tonight.
Yeah, then we do have winds. Who knows what the rest of it will be?
Yeah, we're hoping for not too much snow, but we're ready for it, whatever happens.
Yeah, you guys been doing a phenomenal job with streets, snow, and all that stuff.
Thank you.
Parks. Yeah.
The creek walk, parks, everything. It's just great.
How many people do you have on your crew now, Jillian?
So right now we have our park supervisor, our cemetery caretaker, and Aaron, our acting city arborist. So we're down
Uh,
to three for
wow.
parks. However, we do have a new employee starting in a week or so, and then we have an offer letter out to a city arborist.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
and we also have another full-time staff member lined up who could be taking our cemetery caretaker position. We should be fully staffed again by the end of the month. That's the goal.
Uh-huh. I know you had a pretty full crew last year though for parks, didn't you? You had what, three women that were working for you?
We did, and that was partially during the summer season when we had our
Oh, so
seasonal crew on.
yeah. So they were more seasonal.
Yeah, and our seasonals will join us in April this year, April and May.
Okay.
Hey guys,
Hey Manny, how you
Hey,
doing?
Manny.
I'm doing well.
Great.
You guys doing okay?
Uh-huh.
Good.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for a few more folks to hop on before I start the meeting.
Sounds good.
Hi everyone, it's Chris. I'm sick, so I'm gonna leave my camera off tonight.
Okay, yeah, and Jan's recovering.
Is everybody's camera off, or is that my computer not showing anybody's camera?
All our we're all off.
Oh, okay.
They're off now, Manny. We typically turn them on once the meeting starts.
Okay.
Yeah. But we'll excuse Jan and Chris tonight.
No worries.
Hey, Colin.
Hello,
Well,
Hey,
Colin,
long time no see.
the prodigal son returns.
welcome back, stranger.
Good to see y'all. What have I missed?
A lot. When you say Jillian, seems like a lot's been going on.
Yeah, it's been busy.
Jillian's pay was tripled by the city. Is that what I'm understanding?
Oh,
Or is
I'd
that
love to
rumor?
manifest that.
That was for just Saturdays and Sundays, Colin.
Okay, that sounds like my work.
How you doing, David?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
Everybody ready for the
So-
snow?
Well, I don't know. It happens.
Yeah, what's the rumor? I haven't paid too much attention. Is it really supposed to snow tonight? Is that what they're saying?
It is. So we're prepared for 1 to 7 inches, which I know is a ridiculously wide range. But we'll see what happens. We know it's going to be windy for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So far who we're missing is Rebecca and Candace and Tim Bresnahan. So it's 6:01. I guess I'm gonna just start the meeting, okay? So I'd like to call the PARAB meeting to order. Tonight in attendance for PARAB, we have Jan Johnson, Danu, Colin, Jillian's also here, Natalie Johnson, our liaison, Anthony Lane, Chris Grow, David Crawford, and here's Candace. Candace just jumped on. And also we have 2 guest presentators. We have Steve Moll, MOLL, and Manuel Polito.
Thank you.
Alrighty, and so the second order of business is the approval of tonight's agenda.
Which is just a shorter travel, little shorter wheelbase, a little more nimble 29er. Sorry.
Hi, Tim. Tim's with us. That was cryptic. So we're on item 2, approval of our agenda tonight. Can I get a motion to approve?
So approve of the agenda.
I
Okay, I'll
second the
se-
motion.
Okay, thank you, Colin, Jan, and then Colin. And then we have 2 sets of minutes to approve tonight. We have our draft minutes from our special meeting that we had in, actually, our draft minutes from our regular, I guess it was our special meeting, 10/28. And that one, I believe, was with Robin and Mia from Hort, Copeland and Mock. Yeah, it was their presentation on the draft master plan. So basically, we just reviewed the master plan and gave our input. And that was it. So I'll move to approve those minutes. Can I get a second?
Crawford, second.
Okay, thank you, Dave. And then we have our draft minutes from our strategic planning work session and our special meeting. And that was actually I have 11/18 on here. Oh. We have 3 sets of minutes to approve.
There's 4 sets of minutes on the agenda.
Oh, jeepers. Okay, well, I'll entertain a motion from anybody to approve all 4 sets of those minutes when you guys are ready to, okay?
This is Jan Johnson, and the only correction I have is for January, my last name is Johnson, not Jones.
Okay. That's easy fix. So Jan, are you making a motion to approve all of the draft minutes?
I make that motion with the amendment of changing Jan Jones to Jan Johnson for January meeting. Special
Okay.
meeting.
Okay. And I already approved the first set of meetings minutes, so if somebody wants to approve the last 3 minutes, they're here.
Are you asking for a second?
Mm-hmm.
I'll second.
Okay. Thank you, Candace. All righty. Okay, does everybody all approve? Is anybody opposed? Okay. So are there any public comments not on the agenda? Okay, if not, let's move on to our presentations for tonight. Our first guest is Manuel Polito, and he is going to discuss a grant opportunity for the Flats Overlook Park. Go
Okay.
ahead, Manny.
Yeah. So can I start with the story? A really quick story. So when we were kids, when I was a kid, long time ago, we used to come to Manitou Springs a lot, and it's going to seem like it doesn't tie in, but it does eventually. We used to come to Manitou Springs a lot, and we used to go up. We're Lipan Apache. Being the Lipan Apache, we are cousin or kin to the Jicarilla Apache who lived on Tava on Pikes Peak, and so we would come and do ceremony with them at what is Bear Brothers, what is used to be known as Gog and Magog, and they. I guess what I'm leading to, there was this story about the 4 directions, and in the 4 directions, the eagle brought tobacco and taught about childhood. And I'm just making it really quick. It's a lot longer and more beautiful, but the deer came from the south and brought adolescence and taught these 2 brothers about how to live as an adolescent and understand. And then the bison, adulthood, bravery. And then the bear was the legacy of the elder, the wisdom of the elder, and then how they were supposed to pass on that wisdom. And it was a ceremony we did for many years. I don't ever remember not doing it up there, to be honest with you. And in that ceremony, it was really important to learn the directions and learn the medicine that they would bring: the tobacco, the sage, the cedar, and the sweet grasses. At the end of the story, these 2 brothers who went through from childhood, adolescence, adulthood to elder, they became stone. And the 2 stones that we know as Gog and Magog is what we know as Bear Brothers, or Kuepevechu, which means Bear Brothers. So this story had become really important to us, and it's something that we taught us the directions and the medicines that we would use in our ceremonies. So I got an opportunity to build a sculpture up on Higginbotham Flats. Really enjoyed building it. I mean, I couldn't have asked for better weather, and I couldn't ask for better people to work with either, to be honest with you. They made it easy. Jillian and Danu and everyone who was part of that really made it easy to work there. In the middle of that time, when Native people work, we work in prayer. So we're always offering our medicine before and after as a closing. A couple things happened when I was there. I kept finding these arrowheads. I don't know if you guys can see them, but these are these arrowheads that were probably Ute or Jicarilla or Cheyenne, most likely Ute and Jicarilla. Here's another one that was made of quartz. But and being Native, we find those everywhere. It's nothing important. We just usually give it to a museum, and museum will take care of it and display it. But in the middle of that, in Higginbotham Flats, I found this. I don't know. I put it on a black cover so you can see it. And this is a pipe. After talking to a couple of the archaeologists, they're guessing it's at least 1,000 years old. It was under some rocks in that little spillway. This pipe is most likely Ute. So on that note, that was a sacred place for somebody or many people. They would come up there, do their prayers, do their ceremonies. And that ring that's up there, that medicine wheel that's up there, was not created by me. I finished it, but it was created by the community. The community came out, built this this beautiful prayer wheel, but it was started by several elder Native people. And then it was finished by the rest of the people that come up and help. So I got this idea of trying to figure out how to get grants to finish the park, to start and finish the park up there. And I started talking to a lot of the elders and a lot of the council members on the Utes, on the Jicarilla, on my reservation as well, the Lipans, and they all kept talking about a grant called Wake Up Native Grant, and this was a grant that you can write up to $175,000, which would be very helpful to finish that. The only thing is we have to connect it with you people. Now we have some of the sources that we found, of course, but we also have to be able to currently connect it to you people, or to Native people, I should say, and it doesn't have to be you for this grant. And meaning if we can find a way to change the name or add something that has maybe an honor to, let's say, Buckskin Charlie, or if we can change the name from Higginbotham Flats to maybe Bear Brothers, or the Bear Brothers Flats, or Bear Brother Park, I start applying for these grants. That's only one of many grants that we have. There's another one called Wake Up. Oh, that's the Wake Up one. Tribute Tourism, Tribal Tourism, grant. I can apply for up to $500,000 for that one. Nation Tribal Broadband Grants, that's a conservation grant. All of those are over $250,000, and they're fairly easy. We just have to be able to connect it to tribal lands now, to be able to and maybe a renaming or just something honoring the Native people, so I can apply for these grants. Being Native, I can apply for them. The Wake Up Native Grant is the one I was talking to Danu about. Today was the last day to apply for that grant, so I won't be able to apply for that one. But the tribal tourism is still open, and there's many more that are still open. But it would be something that we would. I wanted to bring that up to y'all, and also, if that is something that's possible, mind you, I've talked to the Ute tribe, and they're okay with the name change. We would have to go down some paperwork and explain exactly what we want to call it. But if we did that, we could very easily get that park built and that whole place developed on that area. The sooner, the better. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Any questions about any of that, guys?
Hey, Manny, this is Chris Grow, and I just want to say, gosh, that's incredible news, and thank you for your work thus far, and for finding out that information about the grants. Personally, I'm open to whatever name, I'm open as far as naming goes, and I think that you, in connection with the Native community, should feel empowered to do some naming.
Thank you. I do sit on the Heritage Center board, and I had a few of the historians there, including myself, do some research on Higginbotham. And there's not a lot about the Higginbotham brothers. Basically, there were three brothers that bought the land and never developed it, never really connected to Manitou. Outside of the cog, later on, the actual brothers, the Higginbotham brothers, that never had any connection. I think there's a Higginbotham's granddaughter living somewhere in either, I think, Winter Park or something. I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure where, but outside of that, there's no actual connection. And we're still looking. We're still looking, but as of now, nothing has came up about the brothers. Nothing historical, I should say. So if that's something that you guys would be willing to talk about and possibly throw around, whenever I can get the thumbs up, I can start working on these grants and get that some of that money allocated for that park.
Mm-hmm. Manny, is there any kind of official designation that makes it a tribal land?
Yeah, so they'll send out it's Manitou Springs in general up to I think 45 miles around Manitou is all already tribal land. So it's already been done, but we would have someone come out and dedicate it, and from most likely the Ute tribe. The Hickory is a little tougher to get down. If not, the Hickory would do it for sure.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'd like to welcome Anthony Lane and Rebecca Wood to our meeting as well. Rebecca, since this is kind of your in your backyard for your expertise and knowledge, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, sorry, I was a little bit late. Thank you, Manny, for all your work. Yeah, I think a name change is appropriate. I think the Bear Brothers would be great. Again, the naming, if it could be even with the language, have the double name, that would be really fantastic. But yeah, I think just having more tribal liaisons kind of come out and just, again, designate that as that particular space. I don't know if that answers your question, Danu, but I mean, I could delve way down the dork hole, but that's not where we don't need to go down there.
I
15
have
minutes.
a quick follow-up question to that. Hi, Rebecca.
Hey,
I'm
Colin.
back.
All right.
And Manny, sorry, I've been out of had to take an absence from meetings for a few months here, but I wanted to ask you about the timeliness of this, just because I just came from meetings at the university related to research funding and grants and all of the changes that are happening with the new government and how things are evolving so rapidly, and there's a lot of uncertainty. Pardon my ignorance, but are any of these grants, do they have anything to do with the federal government, or they're
No,
totally separate?
this is all tribal government.
Okay.
Completely separate. Most of these grants are, in my case, would be tax free because I'm native. But yeah, if as far as it being an issue with possibly losing the grants, no.
Okay.
Mind you, none of the grants are ever 100% proof. We have to apply in hopes that we get it. They'll send a tribal council out here to take a look at the area, talk to you guys, hopefully, and then take steps from that. Most of these grants are good till about August. That would be the time that they'll let us know if we got the grants or not. For some reason, August and September, up to in September as well. I don't know why. But if we wait any later than a lot of other applications, it's almost like a first come, first serve. 100 grants come in, they're gonna choose the first 50 grants to look at, and then next year they'll just push on the next ones for the following for 2 years, and then after that you have to reapply.
Okay, thanks. I just wanted to get a little clarification on certainty versus, or at least where things are. Thank you.
I understand.
Did you want to ask a question, Steve Mull?
I have a question.
Yeah, Tim.
Would such a grant come with any restrictions in terms of future land use?
No, that land won't change hands. That land still belongs to Manitou Springs. The only thing would be a grant for renaming. There's no how to put it. There's nothing that you have to do to be able to get the grant. The only thing is it has to be named, and it has to be a native person get it named. That's it for that particular grant.
Thank you.
Is there anything in the grants that our design architects would have to know in order to incorporate it into the park?
Not exactly. You know, if they could be a possible, they might want to, when they come down, they might be interested in developing the prayer circle, the prayer medicine wheel. But that's not necessarily, you know, for sure. If they do, then that might be something we'll have to accommodate.
So is there, out of question, sorry, it's Dave Crawford. So out of curiosity, is there any reason why we can't name it a park located on Higginbotham Flats?
Park located on Higginbotham Flats?
Yeah, so like I mean, is there a reason that you can't call it a park, a bear park, or whatever we want to rename the park and recognize, you know, the Indian culture, but at the same time, it could be located on Higginbotham Flats?
Yeah, well, I mean, the street's still Higginbotham, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I don't see an issue with that.
Hey, Dave, I just to clarify, right now, all that land up there is already zoned parks. And so our master plan that we just approved was to create a park on the flats. Bear Brothers Flats. Bear Brother Flats.
Thank you for that.
And so does that answer your question?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of it, you know, in terms of the political aspect, because if there is any pushback, I mean, it could still be the flats. Everybody knows it is the flats, but the question is whether or not, you know, you could identify it as a park located on the flats. So that's what I was, you know, I'm just looking at the long game. If that's an obstacle that we're going to run into, if it's a historical location, and again, remember, I'm the new guy here, so I've only been here 4 years, so I don't know how historical it is to the community. But if that was something that we'd run into, we could just simply say that it's, oh yeah, it's the Bear Park or whatever it ends up Bear Brother Park, located up on the, you know, up on the flats. Or Higginbotham Flats.
David, don't worry. It takes about 2.5 years before you stop trying to please everybody.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
And I was gonna say too, with the naming, a lot of times, sorry, hold on. A lot of times if a name is problematic or not ideal, even though community says, oh, we remember it as the flats, or maybe some more derogatory terms, it's okay. We can move past it and fix it for the right.
Yeah. So when we worked on changing the name of Tava back to Tava, and from Pikes Peak, that was an issue because a lot of companies are named after Pikes Peak, you know, and so people were not happy about having to change the name of their companies to accommodate to that. Higginbotham Flats, first of all, as of now, has no history outside of the COG history, if you can call that history. But the only history we have is that it was a place that Native people would go and do prayer, and it is a place where our communities came out and really stood behind us. We had over 100 people that show up to our ceremony, and you know, it's a special place, and I feel that we can really change it and give it its energy back. I'm sure you've heard the story about how they brought the wolf back to the keystone animal back to Yellowstone, and it repaired itself. The wolf ate the deer that was killing off the plants. And when the wolf came, started eating off the deer, plants got healthy, other animals came back, birds came back, and the park is very healthy now. In a sense, bringing back native culture to the original places like here, like Manitou Springs, is a keystone to that place, to our community. It doesn't make us weaker by any means. It makes us stronger. And I'm a firm believer that community first, and that's why I built the Karens out there, because for us, for Native people, the Karens, we could read them and tell you what we can hunt there, and we can read them and tell you, oh, the Hikadi are there, oh, the Apache are there, whoever is there, are they friendly? You can read that as a story, as a book, and we had that ability. We've lost a lot of that ability, and our culture is disappearing. So these grants are back so we can refine our culture again and share it with the people, share what we call our medicine to everyone.
Mhm. Will you need any help with these grants, Manny, or is this something you just want to take on, maybe just you and Natalia?
I would love some help. There's very limited things you can do if you're not Native.
I mean, just with the
but-
actual writing though, if you.
I really.
I mean,
Mhm.
I mean, you would put together the bones of it, but just before it's submitted, just to, go. I guess I'm thinking of grammar or.
Yeah, Manny,
know.
I'm happy to help you support write those. I write grants all the time, so
Thank you.
specifically for Native communities. So I'm happy to support you.
That'd be awesome. I really appreciate that.
That'd be great. Thanks, Rebecca. Yeah. Okay, great. If does anybody have any other questions? If not, we need to move on. Okay, great, Manny. So you have our thumbs up support. Just let us know when that next grant is ready to, when it's due, what the deadline is on that.
Okay.
Question, and this might be for Natalie. Do we need to bring this name change to city council first? Because I have a feeling we do.
Okay, hang on, because it may need to get, okay.
Well,
I have no idea. What do you think, Danu?
well, Manny had spoke to the mayor,
Mhm.
and I got the impression that it was up to city council to change the name of the park
Mhm.
or to make it official.
I mean,
Yeah.
that makes sense, but
Yeah.
So yeah, it would have to go in
John.
front of council. Yeah.
John and John, it was something that interests him, but he says that it might be too much for his table right now.
nah, I think we'd approve it, but I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm. It would definitely help on the grants, and it would definitely help get that park going, and go from there.
Yeah, we're reading a diversity, equity, and inclusion proclamation tomorrow. And if we were to then defy that, the first time someone requests that we actually honor our proclamation, I think that would be a little disingenuous. So
Yeah.
I think you'd be fine.
Thank you, Natalie.
Yeah. So maybe the first thing we'd have to do is agree on the name change, or for you guys to come up with a name that would do honor and justice to that land in the park. And it sounds like you like the Bear Brothers because of Kwa
Kwepevechu.
Pevechu. And I like having that, and then like you had said underneath it, Bear Brothers, and then flats underneath
Bear
that,
Brothers
maybe. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that'd be great if we can make that happen. The sooner we can make that happen, the faster I can start applying for these grants. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Sorry it took so long, but I really appreciate you guys and your patience.
Okay. Alrighty. Thank you, Manny.
Thank you.
Kudos.
Okay. Our second presenter is Steve Mull, and he would like to talk about the opportunity to expand disc golf. Steve?
Hey, everybody. Thanks for inviting me to your agenda and put me on tonight. Yeah, I for those of you who don't know me, my business is Clean Air Lawn Care. We've been involved with park maintenance over the last 10 years or so in Manitou with the parks, and continue to provide a fertilization and treatment program for the parks. Um, so I've been, involved with the parks, and I've seen how these parks have changed over the years. And you guys came to me in 2019 with an idea that disc golf was something that the community was really looking to support, and you guys were willing to roll the dice and be a part of that, and came to me and asked me about what I thought in terms of where would be an appropriate place, and we settled on Fields Park, and we was able to get some baskets set up for the park, and another basket for Bowers Park as well. And anyways, I think it's from my perspective, it's gone over really well. I am what you could call the course ambassador, I guess you could say. I've put a lot of time into the course in terms of, planting the seed and tending to it, and helping it grow. And recently, you guys were gifted a parcel of land that's adjacent to Fields Park, but on the east side of Becker's Lane. It's adjacent to the ball fields that are there, the baseball fields that are part of the high school, I guess. So anyways, one of the city staff last year, I think Matthews, the city arborist, had some interest in kind of just, seeing, taking it to the next level, I guess, the disc golf park. We never really called it a course because we only had 6 baskets. And if any of you are golfers, you know that golf is either a 9-hole sport or an 18-hole sport. And I think Matthew's idea was that he wanted to see, you know, this become more of a reality, something that was more designated with tee boxes and signage and things like that. And I was all in favor of that. I thought it was a great idea. And we talked about, some options and where we could possibly put some other baskets. The park as it is right now is probably as many baskets as we could get into that 2-acre space that's there. We talked about land adjacent to the park on the other side of the creek that would back up to sort of Manitou Avenue, I guess, some of the hotels and things that are over there. It's sort of an easement property on that side. I guess maybe Colorado Springs Utilities has some jurisdiction over that. But, the thing is, to get over there, you need bridges, and probably at least 2 bridges. And so, it seemed not the ideal solution, but Matthew proceeded to tell me about this parcel that became available through open space. At that time, I don't think they had talked to you guys about gifting me the property. So anyways, we went over and took a look at it. And I was like, wow, this is great. It needed some work. It needed some tree trimming and removal, and some dead stuff taken out of there, obviously. And the fence needed to come down, and a lot of that's happened. We've walked the property, and it looks like it would be really an ideal place to expand with another 3 baskets and sort of complete this concept of a disc golf course, and actually I think the city's behind it. I think, Jillian supports this. I know Brad Barr supported this when he was around. Matthew supports it. I see it as a community, community parcel, community course. It would be nice, for city staff to have it as a place on their lunch breaks to go and use it for, some exercise, and, sort of just kind of get out and have some fun. Also for the community as well. I was involved with the middle school. Actually, Anthony's son, Haven, he took a disc golf course that I put on a couple years ago at the middle school. And so I know there's interest from the kids in town, and they think that, you know, disc golf is one of the fastest growing sports out there next to pickleball. And a lot of schools have courses on their properties. The Colorado Springs School has that. And there's another school up on Mesa that has a disc golf course. So, you know, I think we could start some disc golf programs through the school by having a legitimate course. The expansion would be pretty low cost. I think the city's willing to help out with, they've already helped out with just some tree removal and clearing of brush and debris and things like that. But I think they're willing to help out with some signage for this project. I think they're willing to help out with some tee boxes. So I wanted to gauge what your guys' interest is, because obviously I'm available to help with the project and continue to nourish this and get it, you know, put together in a way that will hopefully, you know, make it a really unique thing for Manitou, as well as other disc golfers that want to come and play here. And ideally, you know, maybe have a local club where we meet once a week and we play, and maybe we have some fundraisers and we raise some money for the fire department by, you know, printing discs with the fire department logo on it, different things like that. So it's a great way to give back to community. When I said I was the ambassador, I guess that's more of a self-proclaimed thing, but disc golf communities around the country, disc golf courses around the world, there's an app that you can use called UDisc. And as a course ambassador, my responsibility on UDisc is to post pictures of the course, post a course layout. So, you know, people can leave reviews and things like that. So since 2020, when the course was installed, there's about a dozen reviews in total on UDisc at this point. And with an average star rating of 3.7 out of 5. So it's getting very well received from the public who's out there using it. And people love it. I'll just read you one of the last reviews from July of 2024 from somebody who came by, left a 3.5-star review. It says, course has lots of potential, 6 different colored Prodigy baskets and no designated signage or tee pads. Must use UDisc to properly navigate. Once you get past that, it is a beautiful 6-hole park style track, a very nice technical line, shady with lots of mature trees, should be all par 3s. If you added signage, tee pads, and a few more baskets, this would be a 4+ star course. Great place to stop and throw a quick round. Worth a visit if you're in the area or looking for something new. So that's the latest that came out. And so we've got a pretty good idea of where we want to go with the 6 holes that are out there. And we're just looking for a little bit more of land just to complete this project. And I'm hoping that you guys, since you guys kind of planted this seed, I want to, you know, obviously get you guys involved and get your thoughts. So I guess I would open it to questions at this point and see if there's anything that you guys want to discuss in particular.
Thoughts? Questions?
Yeah, I'll add something. I like the idea of, you know, getting to a 9-hole course. I think that that's consistent with city goals for improving recreational opportunities for our citizens and also attracting tourists. I don't know if anybody's studied what the average dollar amount that your typical disc golf player spends in the city that they visit, but I think bringing people to the town for recreation, in my mind, is usually a plus. And I will also say that I run by that park all the time, especially in the fall when I'm helping out with cross country, and I see those baskets getting used frequently. So I think that I feel like this would be a good investment. I think it would be nice to see more information in terms of where the layout would be and how it could impact the new area, since I'm not very familiar with it yet, or what the possibilities will be. But overall, as you guys know, I'm generally in support of anything that is going to add new recreational opportunities. And I think that this is something that's already been a proven attraction.
My own thoughts is that I suspect we're going to have to put this out to the public and maybe do some kind of a survey and get the pulse of the community as to what they want to see, or give them a multiple choice and have them rate different things that we come up with as to what that space could become, or what it could have as amenities. I know that in the beginning of our disc golf, we had a couple people who really were complaining about it. I think I shared those emails with you, Steve. And they were just, they couldn't walk their dogs because there were frisbees flying around, and he just was not happy with the frisbee golf. But you know, I told him that it was a public park and it was for everybody, and after a while, I guess he got used to it, because then he stopped writing me emails. So, you know, my thought is I understand what you're saying, and I get where you're going with it. I just wonder if there are other amenities, different recreations that could be used in that space in addition to the disc golf. It wouldn't fulfill your 9-course disc golf, but I don't know, that's why I think it should go out to the community for their input.
And Steve, Jan Johnson here. I think, kind of playing off of Tim and Danu, but I think with Tim, if we could just find a way to educate those of us on the board so that we know what tee boxes look like, how much space they'd take, where they would take it, and what we would lose as far as, you know, the park itself, and just basically have more information. And then I do think, like Danu said, we'll probably have to share it with the community and see what the feedback would be.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, those are all legitimate concerns and things that would need to be addressed, obviously. I didn't want to get into too many details, but you know, I mean, I think I envision using a lot of existing concrete surfaces such as sidewalks for tee boxes, maybe on about half of the holes. And the other tee boxes would be just natural tee boxes that maybe were laid out, you know, like a 4x8 size, you know, tee box, like about the size of a sheet of plywood, framed out by maybe a 4x4 with inlaid with like crusher fine type stuff. And those would be, you know, possibly surrounded by mulch or something along that line. So most of the tee boxes that I have kind of laid out, other than in this new area would be more like natural tee boxes made from natural materials, not concrete or anything like that. So, but within Fields Park, there's, you know, an entire border of sidewalk and bike path and things like that that could be utilized for teeing off for different holes. So maybe a combination of a couple different things. So just to kind of give you kind of an idea. And the idea would be to make it, you know, beginner friendly, kid friendly, so that, you know, you really could come out there and just play with a short mid-range or putter style disc. If any of you have ever played disc golf, it's similar to golf in that you have different discs, you have drivers, you have approach discs, and you have putters.
Hey, Steve,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna stop you here because we have to get going with our meeting, okay?
Yeah.
I don't mean to be rude, but
Yeah.
it'd be great though, if we could have like a little seminar or something sometime. Then
Sure.
you could
Yeah, that'd be fun.
explain it, okay? All right.
Let's do that. All
Okay.
right.
All
Can
right.
I ask when, like, where are we in the process of getting that land established as park?
So
Julian?
or not Higginbotham, Zero Becker's Lane, that's the property name for that section of park. It will be officially rezoned at the April 1st city council meeting, pending council approval, but it'll be presented and hopefully approved April 1st. So it'll go from open space to park on that date.
Would our next meeting be too soon or the right time to continue discussing this, or should we wait until May to get this back on the agenda? What do we think?
I think I saw it on the agenda for April, is that right? For council, Natalie, do you know?
Or I meant,
And then I think planning,
talking about disc golf, not the park in general.
well, no, we're talking about making the park changing the zoning from open space to parks. So technically we shouldn't move forward until it's officially zone parks, I guess. Maybe not. I don't know. What do you think, Natalie?
I mean, I think you can't really do anything official until after it's been changed, but I don't think it ever hurts to start a conversation just to get some initial feedback. I just wouldn't do it formally. Because the sooner you can get it started, it's the better, because then people have time to look at it, think about it, ask friends about it, that kind of thing, right? Because I'm sure there are other people thinking about different ways to use it. So I don't think,
Sure.
you know.
Steve, do you already have a vision for what like a proposed additional course would look like?
Yep. Yeah, I've walked the property several times. We have a good idea of where tee boxes would be, where baskets would be. And now that that fence is down, I think that's something that we can look at even a little bit more clearer, because that fence was obviously an obstruction on that property. But yeah, I think, yes, absolutely. So we could easily give you guys sort of an idea of what we've been kind of envisioning out there on that parcel. So
I think
yeah.
I'd like to hear what everybody else thinks. For me, it would be helpful to have a picture of what a tee box would look like, and then maybe just a low res sketch of kind of where the baskets would go in the new property per your vision. I think might be a good place to continue
Sure.
the discussion.
Yeah, that should be easy enough to do.
And then the current course, the way you had it set up, Steve, to my understanding was that it was more a practice course.
That's right. Yeah,
And
unless you use this app that I was telling you about, then there's actually some GPS coordinates to it and some description as to where you would tee off from and which basket you're going to and that sort of thing. So, yeah.
Well,
Anthony?
thanks for your presentation, Steve. Haven had a fabulous time, and you're an amazing instructor. So thank you for doing that. And I agree with what I think a lot of people have said. It'd be nice to kind of understand that new parcel and how and what other uses would be compatible. And kind of, I don't know if you have examples of that, I mean, I guess, of course, the current course, but and am I right? You're thinking 9 full holes on the new property, or is it just a continuation of the ones you already have?
It would be in addition to the ones we already have. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we envision it as like hole 1 would be on that side of the road, on that new parcel, hole 1 through 3 over there, and then you would cross over the street to play 4 through 9 on the existing park. So
Okay, I think we need to have a little more discussion on that. So if
yeah, great.
yeah,
Hopefully this gets the ball rolling, and
yeah, you
we
planted
can
the seed.
revisit this in April or May, whenever the time is appropriate. So, and if you guys want to do something in the meantime, just reach out to me and let me know. We could maybe meet down there at some point, or I can get some pictures together and send them to you, show you some ideas of the layouts and what tee boxes would look like. So,
Okay, all right, great.
okay,
Okay, thanks.
thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
Steve.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Steve.
good to see
Appreciate it.
everybody. Yep.
Okay. Do we have an arborist report tonight, Jillian?
We don't have a formal report. I was going to read a few bullet points. So right now we are still in between city arborists. We did send an offer letter to a city arborist applicant. He has over 20 years of experience. He's moving down here from Aurora, and we're in the background check stage of his application process. So if everything comes back great, he'll be starting on March 17th. So in the meantime, Aaron Renard, our former cemetery caretaker, who's now a forestry technician, is our acting city arborist, and he's continuing the street tree pruning program and is getting the neighborhood chipping program set up to start in April. So we just sent out the press release for that today, actually, for the neighborhood chipping. Oh, and there's one more thing. We officially are Tree City USA for the 5th year in a row. So
All
thank
right,
you, Tree
great.
Board, for your support. It's very exciting. And that is all I have for the arborist report today.
Did you do the application, Jillian?
Actually, Matthew did before he left.
Oh,
So,
all right. All
yep,
right.
that was one of the last things he did. So that was really awesome.
That is. Okay. Park and Rec Advisory Board, I don't have any reports. I don't think. And so let's move on to Natalie, our council liaison. Natalie, Chris had a question about the Metro District proposed dissolution.
Yeah.
So you want to just kind of bring us up to date?
Nope.
How about you give a little background about the Metro District?
Oh, well, the Metro District. Let's see. What can I tell you about the Metro District? I mean, I think it was
It's comprised of? It's comprised of downtown business owners and some residents that live down there that pay their taxes that go
Yeah,
into
it's
a
a specific
special
district.
Is
And
that
and it's the Wichita lot and the Schmishny lot. And then they purchased the hotel that's there. I can't think of the name of the hotel. Do you know off the top of your head, Danu?
Schmishny, Wichita, and the
Ute Pass Motel.
Ute Pass
Craig.
Motel.
You're
Right.
welcome.
Yeah, no, at this point, it's lawyers talking to lawyers, so we're not really allowed to talk about it. At the MAPS meeting, Rolf mentioned that they were trying to open the bathrooms in the Wichita lot up in the next week or so. But I haven't heard anything additional about that. But really, I can't talk about it, so.
Okay. I guess, can I ask questions and you say yes or no?
No.
Or Chris, do you want to ask any questions?
No.
I mean, because I thought that the Metro District was an actual entity. But is it the dissolution of the agreement that you have with the Metro District and the city of Manitou that's going to be dissolved, or?
Danu, I think it's no comment.
I can't.
Yes, okay. All right.
I appreciate the effort.
Okay. All right, Chris, sorry.
Sorry, it's worth the ask. No, I mean, they happen at the MAPS board too. And so as any all groups that I'm liaison to have put that on the agenda. So, but I did just want to mention that tomorrow night we are going to be approving the final Black Canyon open space application or plan. I don't think there's anything too crazy in that. We are going to be approving the parking in the Soda Springs Park, that application, and you all have weighed in on that.
Say that again.
that we're gonna be, I'm not gonna I don't have the agenda.
No, no, no,
Mhm.
you're gonna approve the temporary parking in Soda Springs Park? Is that what
No,
you said?
but it's the application is for, I think you can have one spot for drop off, and then it
Oh.
includes the parking along, Park Avenue, like along the park.
Oh, I got a little excited.
I know,
Okay.
I could tell. Yeah, no, it was what we discussed before. I do believe the chamber will be there to discuss their views and the impact. And I also believe there are a few folks that are going to be representing the trees and the impact to the roots with the cars parking in the park tomorrow night.
Okay.
And then I did, and Jillian probably knows more about this than I do, but I do believe that the fire mitigation grants are going to be available in the next day or so. And so I think that'll be important to folks as well. So that's my report. Are there any questions? No? Okay.
Thank you for what you do, Natalie.
Thank you, Jan.
Thank you.
Alrighty, thank you, Jen. Thank you.
That's all interesting information. Thanks. Exciting stuff too.
Yeah, a lot going on. Okay, I'm gonna skip over to Director's Report, Park and Rec Department.
All right, let me pull mine up. So the Adopt a Park program is officially open. We're accepting applications. We did give our adopters from last year priority. We opened applications a couple weeks early for them to see if anyone wanted to readopt. Most folks did, but we do have some parks left that need adopted. Fields Park still needs adopted. The adopters last year, honestly, it's a good problem. They said the park was too clean, and every time they went there, there was no trash to pick up. So they left us for a park in Colorado Springs. But if you know of anyone who's interested in Fields Park, it's easy because it's so clean.
Wait, that sounds like a perfect opportunity.
For someone to adopt it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I think differently than people that want to adopt a park, but I feel like if I was adopting a park and there was actually no trash to pick up, that would be a win-win.
You'd think so, Tim, but people love picking up trash. They really do. Like they want to fill bags and take the picture at the end of their volunteer day.
They must not have teenagers.
Well,
I pick up
maybe
plenty
not.
of stuff at home all the time. I'm good.
Soda Springs Park needs adopted. Mabel Willie, Wheeler Park, and Iron Spring Park. So those are all just examples of parks that are still open. We have Creek Walk Trail that we can break into sections for someone to adopt different sections of the trail. And we also have garden beds available for adoption. So if folks are more into gardening and they've noticed a city bed that could use some love, they can put that into an application also. So those are open. We've had some issues with dog waste as the snow has melted. A lot of folks have noticed lots of dog waste in the park system. Specifically, Fields Park had quite a bit in the more natural area on the west end of the park.
Well, there's that Adopt a Park. Where are those people at?
I don't think they found that section last year, Danu. But I'm mainly just asking you guys to remind your friends and neighbors that dog waste is litter. It's not good for our ecosystem. It's really not natural. So a lot of folks don't know that. It's biodegradable, so they assume it's okay. But, just educate when you have opportunities. We have our gardening and streetscape services contract. We have bids due on Wednesday. So we'll be reviewing those and getting a gardening contractor. Steve, who just presented on disc golf, is our turf maintenance contractor. And thank you, PARAB, for funding his work in Fields Park again this year. We really appreciate the help with that.
Actually, El Paso Becker's Lane is funding that.
Yes.
That's the taxpayer money. So it's not
but
just
approved through PARAB, right?
Well, yes. Yes.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
Soda Springs Park Phase 2, we had the concrete poured mainly last Friday. We had the rest of the pour completed today for the ADA ramp going up to the sidewalk and a couple of smaller sections in the park. And then the Crusher Finds path that's going to connect the west end of the park to this center of the park will be finished this week. So if you have a chance, go and check it out. It's pretty cool.
You know, Jillian, they poured all that gray. They didn't do it red.
Planning asked for it to be gray to match the
Really?
rest of the sidewalk. Yep.
That's not what our ordinances say.
But did the sidewalk section, Danu, I checked with them. They told me to do it gray.
Well, okay.
All right. I double checked on that, and I have it in an email also.
Well, it's not you making the decision, but it's planning that they're supposed to follow the ordinance. Anyway, that's not my job. Anyway, go ahead.
Project completion is still set for mid-June for Soda Springs Park, so it should finish right before official summer begins, which is awesome. Like Natalie mentioned, the Soda Springs parking update will be covered tomorrow at City Council. We're looking for action from council on what parking to allow behind the Bud Ford Pavilion and what to allow along Park Avenue during special events. So that'll be discussed tomorrow. Manizoo is in the process of being fixed. Audrey from Crane said that they're firing the tiles for the repair. And once the tiles are hard enough and the weather's warm enough for a long enough period of time, they will replace the tiles and Manizoo will be completely repaired. So that's in process. We've been doing some playground inspections recently. Some of the playground parts do need replaced. Playgrounds are expensive. This is something I've definitely learned in my couple of years here so far. So we're going to slowly start replacing pieces in the playgrounds that need replaced. An example is in Memorial Park. If you put your hand on the top rail of the swing set and give it a twist, it kind of rocks back and forth. So that's a bar that needs replaced that we've ordered. But in the future, I might be approaching PARAB for some support with replacement playground equipment for some of our older playgrounds. Nothing as massive as the Soda Springs playground project, but maybe some smaller pieces. And then I have a hiring update. We have our seasonal positions open. So we're hiring 2 parks maintenance technicians. They'll help with daily park runs, maintaining the trail system. We're hiring a forestry technician that will help our arborist team. And we're hiring 3 downtown beautification technicians who will work on weekends and holidays to make sure that the downtown stretch stays clean and trimmed. So those are positions we have open right now. And that's my report for everybody.
Any questions for Jillian? Jillian, are you running the Adopt a Park, or is Josh running the Adopt a Park program?
So I'm running it right now. I'm hoping to transition it to Josh because it's kind of a lot, but I'm running it right now.
Okay.
Yep.
And then Summit Ministries, I think, had Soda Springs Park last year. They're not doing it this year?
They have not applied for readoption.
Okay. That's all.
Okay, thanks, Danu.
Yeah. Okay, anybody else? All right, let's move on to our new business. We have a mini grant submittal by Cassandra Bresnahan. She's basically doing a run like she did last fall, and she's trying to raise money for the Manitou School District 14. She's requesting $1,000, and she would like to receive those funds by April or May 2025. Did you guys happen to look at the grant, or should I read it, or basically it's just or Tim, you want to just talk about it?
Sure. Although I should probably not just because it's my wife who's applying, but also because I'll remind everybody I'm the second fastest over 40 male in Manitou Springs. And I'm looking forward to defending my title as the second fastest over 40 male in Manitou Springs. So I should probably recuse myself from any discussion or voting. But this is essentially the same application to cover the same types of costs as the event last year. She is trying to get this project, or rather this grant application, going sooner so that she's able to, you know, pay for the things that she needs to upfront rather than take on that cost personally, or have the school take on the cost on the back, you know, and then do it on the back end. But again, the costs, if anybody recalls from her prior application, are primarily getting a professional timing system is probably the biggest cost. After that, it's other event things like porta potties, and then supplies like
Actually, you know,
refreshments for runners, things like that.
she
Prizes.
she submitted her budget sheet, so
Yeah, she's got the whole
it's
thing in
on
there.
there.
But
Yeah. So, but basically, it's a fundraiser for the school district, and this is a way for PARAB to be able to park with the school district.
yeah,
Right.
and I'll say that this raised a little over $10,000 last year.
That's great.
Net. So for its first year, it really worked well. For anybody that participated, there was just amazing community turnout. It's definitely one of the most fun things that I've done in Manitou that doesn't involve a parade.
There are a lot of happy folks that were smiling and running. That's what
Yeah.
I noticed. And they
Yeah,
were
it
all
was-
ages, from little tykes to grandpas. It was great.
Yeah, it was so much fun to be running with, you know, all of my friends and neighbors. That was a great experience.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions or feedback or thoughts?
I make a motion to approve this grant.
Okay. Can I
I
get a s-
second that. Yeah, and just one quick question though. So the race will be the same kind of time. I think it was the fall last year. Okay.
Yes, it's
Yep.
not, I don't think it's going to be the exact same weekend. It may move. I can't remember one
She's
weekend
got the
back or one
date.
weekend forward, but it's going to be the same general time.
She's got the date on there. I think it's the 11th of October.
Yeah, here, let me go
Yes, I
back
just
here.
looked at it.
Okay, great. Okay, is all in favor? Raise your hand or say aye. Raise your hand so I can see it.
Aye.
Aye.
Was that everybody? Anybody opposed?
No, but I
Okay.
want to know who the first fastest male over 40 is.
Who beat you, Tim?
Well, I don't want to brag.
It was Andy Sherwood, the high school cross country coach.
All
And
right.
he beat me by like a half a second.
Wow. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so motion carries to award $1,000 for the mini grant to Cassandra Bresnahan. And then Tim, the only thing I would suggest for next year is that Cassandra go out and try to find other sponsors for her grant.
So
To get
rather
to get
than, yeah,
yeah, to broaden it out so more people
She's-
know what she's
she's working on that.
okay, good.
You know, last year her main sponsor, or really her only other sponsor, was Flying Eagle. But this year she's going out to other you know, local businesses, for example,
Good.
to name one, like the Trading Post is one, but she's really hoping to find a bigger player in town that might be interested in matching.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, great. All right, great. So all approved with Tim abstaining. So other business is Candace. Candace, you want to talk about your dog park possibilities?
Sorry, Danu asked me if I had anything I wanted to say, and I said, well, since you're asking about it, I suppose I'll throw this out. I've thought about it, but I haven't really thought of bringing it up anywhere. I don't know. I've just often wished we had a dog park in Manitou for Manitou residents. I don't know how popular that notion will be, or if there's like another pocket park that might be good for that sort of situation. I can't let my dog off leash anywhere. He's not to be trusted. I don't know. It would just, it would be kind of nice.
There is a dog park at Red Rock Canyon, and it's totally fenced.
I take him there a lot, but it's very hot. It's real hot there. He can only be there when the sun is dim. But I don't know. If you guys don't think it's a good idea, I won't.
It's just hard because space is a premium here. Like
yeah,
you
if you
can't
had
have yeah.
If you had a pocket park or something, you know, an extra pocket park.
Yeah. And then
like at the other side of Becker's Lane or something. Not 0, but maybe 100 Becker's Lane. I don't know.
You know, with the my other thing is I worry about picking up dog poo.
Yeah.
I mean, Jillian was just talking about what a problem that is now in our parks.
Fields Park is a mess, but also people let their when people aren't there to check other people or to watch other people, that's when they let it happen. But yeah, the dog waste is a big problem. It really irks me. So I mean, if that's not it's not a good scenario for us, then it's not a good scenario for us.
Anybody else?
I don't have a dog, Candace, but I hear your plight.
Thank you.
And I do see the need for it in a way. I just don't know where I like the idea of it. Yeah, I just don't know where the appropriate place is. And so maybe we can keep thinking about that on the radar.
Yeah, that's fine. I do take my dog to Red Rocks. It's the only place I trust with him. I don't trust Bear Creek. A lot of people don't. But that's okay. I mean, this is a very individual sort of thing. I just raised it. I don't need to talk about it or anything. You guys just want to, have it in the back of your head somehow. That'd be fine.
Candace, I agree. I do think it'd be great to have a dog park somewhere. So if you can find a location, I would support that.
Thank you, Rebecca. Sweet Rebecca. I'll keep my eyes peeled and see.
Okay.
What happens to some of the properties.
Yeah, we'll add it to the list, Candace.
Okay. Yeah, put it on the list.
Wish list. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rebecca, watch out. She's gonna hit you up to be secretary next year. Okay. Does anybody have anything else?
We have the art walk agenda item.
Oh yeah. Sorry, Tim, why don't you yell at me? Thank you, Jillian. Tim, talk about the continuing partnerships with Crane and Matt for art opportunities.
Yes. So
I have my glasses on. Sorry, I put my glasses on so I can read. Go ahead.
All right. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to just pull up some information about the costs. Okay, so has everybody had a chance to see what's up now in Fields Park?
Yes, and I love it.
It's beautiful.
I love all the pieces you chose, or Crane chose them, or somebody, I don't know who, but anyway, I think it's incredible. I love it.
Oh, thanks. And I think so far, talking with Jillian, talking with Crane, it's getting good feedback. And Jillian, correct me if I'm misquoting, but I understand that the primary complaint is that there isn't art on the opposite side of the signs.
That's correct.
Which is actually part of the next. That's the intention, is to add art to the backsides of those to really maximize the installations that are present. So Crane has applied to ENT for grant funding. Crane also has received funding from URA to do additional installations. And they are not ready yet for a formal proposal, but are hoping in the near future to ask PARAB to support 2 more installations when Zero Becker's Lane comes on board. So now this is the list of people wanting to do something with Zero Becker's is starting to stack up. But anyway, and then they are also looking to identify additional places along the creek walk that is outside of parks at this time, and looking for, you know, different funding streams in order to get that set up. But just to review, I want to make sure everybody knows the you know, kind of what has been spent per installation so far. And so when new posts are, obviously when you put up the installation, the initial is more expensive because the second piece of art that would go on the back of that doesn't include the post materials or the installation. So, which I should also say that the city was awesome stepping in to dig the holes and help with the installation. But materials, $96, $97. Printing is $80. Labor, $215. The artist stipend was $250. So that's total per sign. New installation was $641.50. And then per sign to add to the back, including $11 for materials, $80 for printing, $50 for labor, and $250 for an artist stipend, is $391 to add to the back. So right now, Crane is working on using funding that they have to get out a call for art to add to the current installations that we have in Fields Park. Again, they're working with URA and funding to do things that are outside of Fields Park, but within URA territory, and then hoping to find new opportunities for Zero Becker's. And then the stretch I would add that they're looking to add to next is between the pool fitness center and the chamber. That's the kind of next stretch they'd like to get installations. So I think it's been a great project. I think that the potential you know, for adding two-dimensional art to Creek Walk and really activate that space I think it has a really, really high ceiling, and I'm excited to see this continue to grow, and hopefully everybody else is too. So thank you for everybody's support thus far.
Kudos to you too for taking the helm on this, and with Audrey and everybody. So good job on that. I think it's fabulous.
Thanks, Jan.
Yeah. Did you want to talk about in the future when we are going to do projects, or I forget the word that you had used, but to consider local artists for those particular projects? You had mentioned that.
Yes. So all of, I see. That's a separate thing. So does anybody have any other questions about next directions for the art, Creek Walk art?
Looks
Okay.
great. Yeah.
Okay, Johnny, thank you so much for bringing that up. And I'm glad that you did, because I was just thinking about it with Jillian tonight, talking about Manitou, and also talking about some playground materials needing to be replaced. And so what I would like to start a discussion about is exploring whether we should consider adding to our code ordinance an item, and maybe it doesn't have to be in code ordinance, but adding something that's going to be part of our decision-making process whenever we plan any kind of infrastructure in our parks, to remind us or even force us to consider local artists when we create any new kind of structure. So what does that look like? One, I think there's some existing structures that are great examples. One is Manitou. And the second, also in Memorial Park, is the treehouse sculpture. And I don't know if that, I'm sorry, I don't know if that actually has a name, but does everybody know what I'm talking about? There's an old tree stump on the north side of the park, like in front of Sunwater, that has been carved into like a house.
Yeah, I think
child,
Sophie Cowman did that.
who did?
Sophie?
Okay.
Either Sophie or Charlie Hall.
Okay, so when I look at things like that, I think those things, more than anything, any other infrastructure that we have in our parks, really adds to, I think, a sense of magic and a sense of place, and adds real interest to our parks. And taking any opportunity to either replace old infrastructure, or when we see needs to add new infrastructure, to go to our local talent, whether it's Manitou or Colorado Springs or even, Greater Front Range, I think is something that would be exciting in terms of opportunities to make sure that we continue to include elements like that in our parks. Now, a secondary part of this for me is, I think, a frustration that I've had going back years on PARAB, in that when we add park, like say playground infrastructure, for example, that we purchase off the shelf, invariably by the time part of that breaks, that product is no longer being manufactured and there is no replacement part for it. And then we're stuck with either, something ugly that's bolted to fix something that's not safe, or we have to replace an entire structure for a small thing. And so I think for me, a secondary part of this would be also considering making sure that we use either products that are made of materials that can be fabricated or replaced, whether that be wood or metal, by either the city or by local fabricators, like, for example, that we use for our fencing in Soda Springs Park, so that it's easy for us to replace parts in the future rather than have to deal with replacing an entire structure. And I realize that upfront, this is something that will probably add more cost when we replace structures, but I think in the long run is going to benefit us in terms of lower costs when it comes to maintenance and longevity for the things that we add to our parks. So I think that those two things kind of go together, but I feel like we have an opportunity to make this something that future boards will be able to follow, to ensure that we continue to add things to our parks that reflect our natural creativity, our local talent, and are things that will be durable for years to come.
Yeah. Well, you're our point man for Crane, Tim.
I have no idea what something like this would look like. I haven't really done anything with this yet besides talk to people that I know that do art.
Well, that's where you
Like
start.
Crane, or some friends, for example.
Yeah, that's where it starts. Okay, anybody want to?
I don't know if anybody has any thoughts
Yeah.
on that, or has any experience with something somewhere else, to see where something like that could go or what it could look like.
I don't know what it could look like, but I really am heartened with the thought, particularly of the Sophie or whomever carving of that stump, and continuing to do as much as we can locally. I think as a city, that's what we're known for. So we should just try to continue to support that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also in strong support. I mean, I think just as a starting point for each of these discussions, yeah, looking at local options that might have more of that resonance or connection makes a lot of sense. So thanks, Tim.
Just a note on replacement playground equipment. Definitely happy to look into local vendors. We actually looked into our team redoing the top rail of the swing set ourselves in-house because we're not certified through the National Playground Inspection Group. There's a lot of liability that would be on the city if we were to make that rail ourselves. So that's why for something like that, we would want to go through a certified vendor for playground equipment because they know all the specs and they are certified and insured and there's warranty available. But anything that doesn't need to be certified like that, I think would be an excellent option for trying to do in-house or extremely local.
Yeah. Okay, anybody else have anything to add on or to say? Jillian, thanks for catching me. I'm sorry I missed you, Tim.
Anu,
No,
do you mean,
thanks.
sorry, do you mean a question about anything or just on the topic we were on?
Well, it depends, Colin. What's on your mind?
I just want to, just because I've been absent a few months, going back to that 0 Becker's Lane property,
Yeah.
are there competing visions for that right now besides the disc golf? Because the disc golf is the only one that I've heard. But have people put forward other ideas already?
Well, I'd love to I'd love to use that space for, this outdoor physical equipment station that I've been going on about for the last 6 years.
Yeah, I do
I
remember you mentioning that.
yeah, I mean that would be an ideal location for it. But I don't need it to be a big footprint, but it would be easily to access off the creek walk and you're right by the creek there. So that would be my vote or one of the options to
Okay, so
offer
we
to the
haven't really,
community.
over the past few months that I haven't been here, we really haven't discussed much about that.
No,
Okay.
no, because that just sort of kind of came up, what, last year, Jillian? Or I
Yeah, it
think
was
open space.
later last year.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
remember Matthew making a presentation about the disc golf. So, okay, that's all I
Right.
need to know. Thanks. Just wanted to get caught up.
yeah, you bet, you bet. I won't be here next April, this coming April. Tim, will you be here?
Yes.
Great, you're the man.
Yeah, I think
All
I
right.
won't even be at work, which would be a huge plus.
Yeah, you will be at work or you won't be?
No, won't be. Huge plus.
Excellent,
Yeah.
excellent. Okay, all right. If anybody has anything else to say it now. If not, I will move to adjourn our meeting.
This is Chris. Can I say one thing?
Absolutely.
I just noticed the new bench at Wheeler and it looks really nice. So thank you, Jillian.
Yeah, the red one. Yeah,
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the red is a beautiful color with the greenstone and everything.
yeah. And it's heavy. It's heavier. So
So that-
hopefully no one's gonna like pick it up and carry it off.
And then regarding 0 Becker's Lane, I went down there the other day and walked around. It's really beautiful. It obviously needs some cleanup, but I was thinking of something as simple as like a forest bathing area. Um,
Forest bathing?
yeah, which would be like basically do nothing with it and like then clean it up. But it's just like I hate to see any man-made items go in there.
Mm-hmm.
At the same
What about a bench or a picnic table? Would that
Nope.
be? No,
No,
nothing. Okay.
I mean, in my opinion, it's just perfect
Yeah.
the way
The
it
way
is.
it is.
I mean,
At
I've
the
thought
same
about,
time,
I'm sorry.
oh, sorry, Anthony.
I was
I
just gonna add to what you're saying, just that, yeah, just thinking like natural creek front areas where in short supply and could be really valuable. So
Right.
Open
Um,
space, right?
Yeah, what I was gonna say is, at the same time, I do see the benefit of sort of like activating the space to prevent untoward activities, but I mean, isn't that what creekside spaces are for? But I mean, not super untoward, just some fun, teenagers having fun or whatever. You know what I mean? Just like, just natural.
Just as long as it
Oh,
doesn't
Tim's got
involve
teenagers.
dog,
His,
just as
his,
long as it doesn't involve dog poo.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
I have a
right.
teenager too, and
And
they
I'm
do
good
leave
with
trash
whatever they
around.
do as long as I don't have to pick up after.
Yeah. So anyway, those are just my thoughts. So, I think it requires some thought and discussion.
I agree with you. That is one thing I've been thinking about, but I never speak up. But I would like to see a little less metal, a little more
Metal?
natural. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
like the look of metal.
Yeah.
Just metal structures, poles, things like that. I like the idea of building art out of the already natural materials that exist. So that's just kind of my aesthetic right
Mm-hmm.
there. But I really like what Chris just said.
Well, that can be a choice that we'll add into our poll.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay. All right. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn our meeting. Adjourn.
Second.
Okay. Well, all right. Everyone, thank you. Thanks. Good night.
good to
Bye.
see
Thanks,
you.
everyone. Good
Thank
night.
you. Bye-bye.